Hello everybody, this is Grizz again, back with another battle. Here I try something that's probably not a smart idea. I try to bring a campaign-style army, one that'll work in campaign, into an online battle. I picked Macedon, my opponent picked Sparta, and he chose this map, which this is a teaching point for me, which is a lot of the reason why I'm putting this video up, is pay attention to what map you're playing. I didn't realize at the time I was going to be playing in a hilly forested map. And this is a very good learning tool for me. So we'll start out the battle. You had a brief view of the armies, and I'll go over, actually we'll go over it as we're walking towards. Alright, from a tactical perspective, I have 6 light peltists. Again, if you know anything about me, I love javelins. I brought 5 regular pikes, 2 Thorios spears, 3 Thessalian cav, and 2 companion cavalry. Again, this is a very standard campaign army. You could conquer the world with this army in campaign. Pretty much. Unless you verse some like horse archers or something. But against Sparta, I figured he can't kill me attacking me if I have pikes, and Peltis can kill his Spartans. And I have Thessalian cav for behind, for hammer and anvil strikes and the pikes, and companion cav is an elite unit he can't match. So when we loaded in the battle, you can't really see his units right now. All you could see, he had a couple javelin moved from this hill down to the forest, and he had the skirmisher cav. The only places I can't see are in the forest and in the back of the map back here. And I left this cav here just in case men came over the hill from my side. Then I could stop them on time, and I could see it happening. But I assumed he was in the forest because our starting positions, he was mostly in the forest. And he ran in there immediately. So I sent 2 Thessalian cav ahead of my main force and tell my guys to go into the forest as well. And I was correct. Yeah, so I start seeing his army. And once my cav, we take a couple slinger shots from the helot slingers he had in the front. But once we get outside of their cone of fire, we can see their whole army. And I don't know at this point how many cav he has in that forest. So I bring up cav as backup behind my light peltis, and I keep this unit up here just in case I need a downhill charge to save me. So we're starting to see more and more of his army. You see 3 slingers, you see a couple Periokoi pikemen, you see a couple Spartan hoplites pop up here and there, so it looks like a very standard non-Gorgon build. The Gorgon slingers were added to Sparta when the Women of War or whatever DLC came out, and they're very, very good. I don't know if they're as good as Rhodians, but they're pretty close in stats. At least offensively, they might have less armor or war shield or whatever. But still, I can't see his full army. I can see the pikes. I can see, alright, here's the Spartan hoplites. And there's his general, the hero of Sparta, which I like the idea of the unit, but it's not like it's historically accurate. Sparta at this time period was basically, they weren't of any consequence to the moments of history anymore. They don't dictate any kind of politics at this point in history. So yeah, I just go deal with the skirmish cav. I think he forgot about it maybe, and I just kill it with my light peltist. That's the end of that battle. I even bring my Thorios spear just in case he charges me. But here's his whole army. We'll pause and take a look at it. He's got 2 helot javelins behind his line of pikes and behind his general. And behind them, he has, he's got 1, 2, 3 Spartan hoplites and 4 Royal Spartans. And this right now is when I realized I should not be fighting this fight. Well, maybe not yet. We'll play the battle now that we see his army. Here I think, hey, I could totally kill his pikemen with all my javelins, and then he won't be able to beat my pikemen because, let's be honest, hoplites don't kill very quickly. This cav's getting wiped out. And so now I take up to the forest. He's got to have more troops somewhere. I mean, he started with 3 troops back here. So at least my opponent knows about tactics and stuff. I wipe out 1 slinger. Probably a waste of ammo. Probably. There's no units anywhere else. This is his whole army. And this is probably my least favorite part of playing online, is people picking maps like hilly maps or foresty maps, and then counter picking you and then camping. It's I like having battles, not you sit there and then I have to push through like all your troops while you're sitting in a defensive position. But again, hey, this is a very viable strategy and it works. And it just so happens that Macedon doesn't deal well with uphill forested battles. They just don't deal well with it unless I go a sword heavy build. If I went sword heavy here, all I had instead of pike heavy is if these were all thorax swords instead of pikemen, it would have been one less probably. But I would have been able to shoot down his Perioke pikes and actually engage his Spartan hoplites in melee, which never happens at all. I end up losing this fight after a little bit of time. You'll see 4 minutes left still. And it's kind of a grind out. Like, I have my pikes attacking his pikes, but as we see, it's just more to see how well pikes do. That's really why I brought this army, and they're just not engaging each other. Look, as soon as one makes contact, they don't know what to do anymore. There's actually one fight right here. My pikes are crushing his Perioikoi pikes, so he sends in the Spartans, which is a very good idea. But here, look, they're not fighting. This is something CA really has to look into. With all the with the new game coming out, and there are still pikemen in the next game. I've been told there's around 4 different types of pikes. Yeah. So if they're still not working in this engine, and it's pretty much the same game, just prettier and in a couple hundred years in the future from this game, I don't know what that means, but I think pikes are also going to be useless in Attila. I have all these Thessalian cav, but I can't really charge because he's got expert charge defense royal cav. I will push in on the corners here. See, I took this hill from him to make sure there's nobody back here. But I really don't have a lot of options. I brought a cav pike heavy army that skirmishes to win, like a very old school Macedonian army. That would have been great, as this idea would work well in an open flat map. This army, I think, would do very well as long as I can force the engagement with my peltists, which is why I brought so many. Like, if you bring 6 peltists and have them sit and just decimate you, I mean, light peltists, they carry 10 rounds and shoot at 8 per minute. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, I bring the cav in because I see a little gap to try to get into his helot javelins, because the Royal Spartans don't have javelins to throw. I figured I could do it. Yeah, so I crush one and I try to pull out, but he immediately my Thessalian won't leave this guy. I try to pull him out. He doesn't leave. The pike engagement, we'll zoom in a little bit, get you some in-forest battle. Can we? Here, we'll pop that down. Here, so you guys could watch a little bit of the fight while I talk about the strategies, I guess. My opponent had a very basic strategy: bring a very tanky army and camp in the forest and hope they don't bring swords and beat you, which I didn't, and it turns out in his favor in this case. My cav, I'm trying to bring it through the gaps. You know, I'm hitting these Royal Spartans in the rear. My pikes are engaged. My light peltists ran out of ammo. They're getting engaged. I mean, I should have ran around the flanks. See, my cav. I have my cav back, trying to do damage. Remember, I have companions and Thessalians. They're very, very capable on the charge. But against an army of spears in a forest, with a gradient, that, you know, an uphill gradient, I don't know if it's the best idea. So yeah, I soon see that I won't be able to win this fight, really. And I concede, say GG, and I give him the victory. Maybe that was premature, but I really didn't see a way. We'll bring this back out. As you can see, my guys are starting to drop. A lot of my cav are dying. My men aren't getting many kills. My peltists are pretty much out of ammo. And my pikemen are starting to fall. There's not a lot left. So this is, pretty soon I give up, and I give the victory to my opponent. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm taking anything away from him. We'll get an overview. A lot of my dudes are half dead. See, 50. This guy has no ammo left. And This is over. I can't really win if he's just going to sit in the forest on a hill. But this is a viable strategy. And it shows one of the reasons why pikes aren't used, because they can't kill anything other than other pikemen, or if you run head-on into them with all your swordsmen, which I kind of did when I was getting frustrated. I got a little frustrated. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I figured this would be a good tool to show everybody why pikemen aren't great. I mean, look at the kills. 10 kills, 50 kills, 40 kills. This one did alright, but that was the one that did actually engage line to line. My cav didn't kill anybody. My javelins didn't really kill anybody. I did much better this fight, and then, or in terms of friendly fire, than I did the last battle, which you should totally go watch. But yeah, his Royal Spartans, man, there was no way at that point these remaining troops were going to be able to kill all those Royal Spartans and his general. And I focused fired his Spartan general several times with my peltist, and I didn't get a single kill. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit bitter about it, but hill camping is a thing, forest camping is a thing, and when you go online, you have to be prepared for it. And really, guys, look at the map. I'm telling you, if I saw the map, I would not have brought this army. But yeah, again, good game to Captain Des. He deserves the victory. He had a very good plan, and he executed it very well. All right, see you guys on the next battlefield.